Breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner, girl, go and get that, you can achieve that. Be a breadwinner, you can be a breadwinner, girl, go and get that, you can achieve that.
Okay, so welcome to another edition of Breadwinning Wednesday. And today we are having a conversation around getting clients, right? And what it looks like to get clients. And specifically, we're talking about 5 steps to generate client conversations and close sales. And if you have been setting revenue goals in your business, but not consistently hitting them, meaning you're not bringing in the number of clients that you want to be bringing in, then today I want to talk to you about the number one thing really that I see holding a lot of women owners back in terms of being able to find and attract the right clients. And if you are doing this, then it's probably from preventing you from being able to grow your client base. And today we're going to solve that. If you are new to the Breadwinning Women community, welcome. I am Jamila Payne, and this is another edition of our regular weekly show called Breadwinning Wednesday, where we help service-based entrepreneurs create simple systems in their business that will allow them to sell and deliver a high-end signature service so that you can grow your revenue, serve more clients, and work less. So without further ado, I really want to jump into today's session. And I want to talk about what this number one thing is that I see, because it's really important that you can feel empowered around being able to bring in clients in your business and not like it's a mystery or you don't know where the clients are coming from or you don't know how to get clients. Like, you want to have a system and a process around being able to bring in clients into your business. So that's nugget number one. So if you have your notebook, then if you don't have your notebook, you may want to grab it now. Nugget number one is you need to have a system, a process, a methodology around getting clients. You don't want to be operating willy-nilly using a hope as a strategy, wondering where the next person is coming from. You actually need to have a process set up in your business that will allow you to regularly bring in people. Okay, so that's number one. So if you don't have a process right now for regularly bringing in people, then that's the first thing you need to look at. Okay, this is exactly what we teach inside of Breadwinners Mastermind, how to put a system in place that will allow you to attract the right clients. That's not something that you have right now. That's the first thing that you need to look at. So what I often see women entrepreneurs doing is feeling like they're not good at business, or they don't know if they can succeed in their business, or if they're not cut out for this entrepreneurship thing because the clients are coming in at the rate that they want the clients to come in. And it's not true that you're not good at business or that you can't succeed or you can't grow to the level that you want to grow to. But what I see is that a lot of women owners are not actually having conversations and making offers with people. Okay, let me break that down for you. Having conversations means that you are regularly getting in front of people that fit your ideal buyer profile and that you are talking to them, you're educating them on what you do, how you can help, and then you are making an offer, like an invitation, like, hey, if this is something that you need, this is what I help people with. Right? That these are problems. If those are the kind of problems, these are the kinds of problems that I solve, or these are the concerns I solve, or these are the desires that I fill, right? You want to be able to clearly explain that to clients. Okay, so what's step number one in the 5-step process? Step number one is, if you're not already super clear on who your ideal buyers are, and more importantly, what their key desires are, then that's step number one. You got to know the desires of the clients that you're trying to attract. So I would love to hear in the comments, let me know who you're currently trying to attract. Like, are you B2B? Are you working with coaches? Are you working with consultants? Are you working with busy moms? Are you working with, I know Lisa works with attorneys, right? Like, who is it that you're trying to track? And you don't want to know just generally who that you're trying to attract. You want to be able to say it very specifically who you're trying to attract. And one of the things that I often teach my clients is you want to do the cocktail room test. Okay, so let me tell you how that works. So just imagine that you are at a cocktail party, you're standing in a room like beautiful hotel ballroom, like there's a new ballroom, new hotel in your city. Here where I am in Philly, they just put up a new W hotel. So imagine I'm standing in the ballroom of the W hotel and I'm hosting a cocktail reception. And I got on stage in the front of the room and I was going to call out my ideal clients. I want to be able to say who they are so specifically that some people are going to raise their hand in the room and other people are just not going to raise their hand. They're like, oh, no, that's not me. Right. So say, for example, if I was hosting a cocktail party for women and I said, well, all the ladies raise their hands, right? Then the whole room is going to raise their hand. That's not telling you who your ideal buyer is. But if you said, well, all the female attorneys in the room, or all the women who are currently practicing as lawyers, raise your hand. You could even get more specific and say, well, all the women who have a personal injury practice as an attorney, raise your hand. Now that's very specific. So once you're super specific about who you're trying to attract, the next thing that you want to resolve is like, well, what are their desires? Like, so if I'm using the personal injury example, then you want to be able to say, well, what are the desires of personal injuries and injury attorneys as it relates to what you solve? So you don't, it doesn't matter like, oh, well, personal injury attorneys are all interested in vanilla ice cream, right? Like that doesn't matter, right? You don't need to know like generic demographic information. You need to know specific information around their buying habits, behaviors, things that are top of mind for them. I like to call this the girl, let me tell you conversation. You know how when you're having one of those conversations with your girlfriends and you got together and you haven't been together for a little bit, and then she's like, girl, let me tell you, right? Right? It's the girl, let me tell you conversation. That's the thing that you want to know about your ideal clients. It's the thing that is on their mind. It's the thing that they're going to sit down to another colleague and be like, girl, let me tell you that I had this client who did XYZ, or here's something in my business that I need to work on. Like, you want to be able to identify what that is for your ideal buyers so that you can leverage that in your marketing. Okay. So that's nugget number 2. So write that down. It's probably on like nugget number 4, actually, by now. Okay. So write that down. So let me just wait a minute, I just want to turn that sound off. Okay. So let me just recap that for you, because I want to make sure you got all that, because this is really very important first step. So we talked about that you want to be able to understand who specifically you're targeting in a way that you can call them out doing the cocktail room test, so that only your people are going to raise their hand, and the people that are not a good fit are not going to raise their hand. They're not going to be saying that they're interested. Like, that's how specifically you have to call them out. So let me tell you how you use that in your marketing. Let's just say if you're targeting personal injury attorneys, when you are talking in your marketing, you use that term. Hey, personal injury attorneys, I want to tell you about a tip, or I want to tell you about a strategy that you can use in your practice that'll help you get higher payouts for your cases. Call them out in your marketing. Say who you're talking to in your marketing, because that's going to help you to attract them in a deeper way. Okay, so remember that. Then you want to know specifically what their desires are. Okay, so what's the girl, let me tell you conversation that they're having in their mind, because you want to be able to tap into the things that they are thinking about and that are top of mind for them. So if you know that personal injury attorneys are thinking about, man, I'm I'm not getting the payouts that I want to get from my clients, or here's a common challenge that they're having with their cases. You want to be able to speak to that, but not generally. You want to be able to speak to that specifically as it relates to what you do. Okay, so using Lisa as the example, I know Lisa is a legal nurse consultant, and so she want to be able to speak to the girl, let me tell you, conversation as it relates to their cases and needing a legal nurse consultant, or needing a legal nurse consultant to review their cases, or why they would have their cases reviewed and the benefits of having their cases reviewed and all of those kinds of things. Okay. All right. So that's step number one. Okay. Step number two is, and I kind of gave it away a little bit. Step number two is you want to speak to the mindset shifts that you need your ideal client to make in your content. Give me a C for content right now if content marketing is a part of the strategy that you're currently using to attract buyers. Give me a C for content marketing, meaning you are putting out some kind of content, whether it's posting on social media, maybe you got a YouTube channel, right? Like there's something that you're doing in terms of content marketing. Give me a C in the chat if you're currently using content marketing as a part of your strategy. Let me also just double check inside of the Breadwinning Women community. If you're watching live inside of the community, I see a few people are watching. Make sure you say hello. Hey, Levon, so glad that you are here. Sierra's here. Hey. Myosia is here as well. Awesome, awesome. Okay, love it. All right, so when you think about, right, so give me a C if you're doing content marketing as a part of your market. Okay, good. I see those C's popping up. Okay, so what you want to do, right, is make sure that in your content, you're speaking to the mindset shifts that your client needs to have. I was recently having a conversation with someone in our Breadwinners Mastermind community, and I was checking out her content. I'm often, we're following our clients online. Like I'm checking out their content. I'm watching what they're doing. I'm giving them feedback on things that they're posting. And I noticed that the content that she was posting was really speaking to a result. It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like saying if you were telling people how to lose weight and you were saying like doing a keto diet is a great way to lose weight. She was saying like you should try keto, or keto is the best way for you to lose weight. Okay, so here's the problem with that. I really want you to hear this. So if you're multitasking, come back to me. This is really, really important here. If you're giving people the answer already, like if you're saying keto is the best way to lose weight, what you haven't done is help them to understand why. So if your content is speaking to people in a way that you're just giving them the answer, you have to help them to get to the realization on their own. It's almost like they have to feel like they decided that keto is the way. Your role in your content is to unpack for them or teach them why this is actually a good strategy. So for example, some of your content is going to be like how using keto will allow you to remove calories faster. How to prepare keto meals in 30 minutes or less, because maybe people feel like, oh, if I'm eating a specialized meal like keto, it's going to take me a lot longer to cook it than I would normally cook dinner. So you want to think about what are all the objections, what are all the things that will like hold them back from being able to make a decision to use the keto method, right? So when it comes to your service, going back to the legal nurse consultant example and the personal injury example, right? You want to think about, well, what would be all the reasons why an attorney would feel reluctant to hire a legal nurse consultant? How can I educate them in my content on why this is important for them, how it will help them, the difference that it'll make in their cases, how it'll help them get bigger payouts, how it'll help them to get better client results, how it'll help them be a better attorney, like all of the things that you can think about, as opposed to giving them the answer and just saying, just eat keto. I said eat keto, so eat keto because I said eat keto, right? It doesn't work like that. So I want you to go and take a look at your content right now. And I want you to figure out, are you giving people the answer, or are you giving people the aha moment? Write that down. Am I giving people the answer, or am I giving people the aha moment? The thing that makes them say, oh, I see why I should do that, or I see how that can help me. Okay, so speak to the mindset shifts in your content. Okay, step number 2. Step number 3 is you want to make sure you're consistently engaging your clients online. So remember how I said there's a number one thing that women are doing that are preventing them from being able to close more clients? It's that they're not having conversations. They're not actually talking to people in their audience on a daily basis. Like, you need to be in front of your people on a daily basis, whether that's on a live stream, whether that's on a webinar, whether that's your content is more of a nurture, but the best way, like literally the best way to be able to interact with potential clients and to educate them on what you offer is using live stream video. Think about it this way. For you, like, we may have never met in person, right? Like, we may have never met in person. We may not even live in the same city. We might not even live on the same side of the country. But for a lot of people inside of the Breadwinning Women community, they have gotten to know me. They have gotten to know a lot about me, like where I'm based, what I do, my values, a lot of different things. And I have also learned things about people in our community. Now, if you listen to the Breadwinning Women podcast, right, and you have me in your earbuds while you're doing intimate things in your life, working out, walking to the store, riding in the car, right, then my voice is becoming very familiar to you, right? Like, I'm a part of your life. Like, there's podcasts even that I listen to. Those people are a part of my life. I feel like I know them, right? And I've never met them. And some of them I've never even talked to before, right? But they feel a part of my life. So I want you to think about this for you. If you are not right now creating a way to stay in front of your ideal buyers, then how do you want to do that? How do you want to do that? Now, I know being on video can feel a little bit scary. You can wonder, like, do I have to be done up all the time? Do I always have to have my hair right or my makeup right? Or no, you absolutely do not. People really appreciate your authenticity, you showing up as you are. But what I would say is most important is you show up just as a representation of your brand. And if your brand is a little bit more casual and more chill, then it's okay to show up on camera more casual and chill. If your brand is a little bit more polished and professional, then show up polished and professional. Hey, if you got a fitness brand and you're showing up in your workout clothes, that totally makes sense. Like, you're right on brand for how you want to be presented to your ideal buyers. People are going to resonate with you when you are showing up in a way that is authentic to your brand. So you want to be having these conversations on a regular basis. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to do a live stream every single day. I do a live stream once a week, and then we syndicate that live stream to other places. So this video is happening right now inside of our Breadwinning Women community, but later it'll get shared on IG. It'll get shared in other places that are online. It'll get shared on our YouTube page. If you're not already on my YouTube page, check out my YouTube page. There's like hundreds of videos on the YouTube page, right? Like, it'll get shared to other places. I'm not in all of those places trying to create a bunch of new, fresh content every day of the week, like YouTubing and doing all this stuff. I teach my clients inside of Breadwinners Mastermind what I call like the 80-20 principle of marketing. If you're familiar with 80-20, it's the Pareto principle. And it basically means that 80% of the results are created by 20% of your actions. So think about it this way when it comes to marketing. You want to be spending only 20% of your time creating content, and you want to be spending 80% of your time distributing the content and getting the content out there into the world. Okay, let me say that again. You only want to be spending 20% of your marketing time, not of all your time, right? Not 20% of all your time. 20% of your marketing time should be spent creating content. 80% of the time should be distributing the content. Think about something like a movie, right? When a major movie studio puts out a movie, they're not necessarily putting out like 10 movies in a year. That's not the goal, right? Like I just started to see, I'm curious, give me a Y for yes in the chat if you have seen the previews already for Wakanda Forever. I just saw that yesterday and I was like, what? I can't believe it. There's like a part 2 coming out. I'm like so pumped about it. Give me a Y for yes in the chat if you have seen the previews already. Okay, I see why it's popping up. I was like so excited. So I digress, but I just had to ask you because I was like, I really geeked out. But when you see something like that, right? Like it doesn't even drop until November. Okay. And they're already, right? They're spending 80% of the effort in getting the word out. So I want you to see this in real life, how people are doing this in other industries outside of running a business online. So they're spending all their time distributing the content, like they're making people aware, they're creating anticipation, they're creating demand, they're getting people excited, they're putting the word out. They're gonna have people setting up friend groups to go to watch it, or if it ends up being on streaming, then they're going to have people doing watch parties to download it. Like they're doing all the things now to get the word out. So you want to be the same way around your content, right? So I don't want you spending a whole bunch of time. Like it's not effective to spend a whole bunch of time creating a bunch of brand new content over and over and over, fresh stuff, like every other day. That is not the way to go. Okay. Really smart marketers are repurposing their content. Okay. So let's recap what we talked about so far. So when it comes to the steps that you need to take to generate conversations with potential clients and close sales, number one, right? You want to be able to know specifically who you're trying to attract. We talked about making sure that you know specifically what their desires are as they relate to what you do, so that you can be able to address their desires in your content. Okay, you want to talk about what their desires are in your content. Okay, step number 2 is the way that you're going to put your content out there is that you're going to leverage mindset shifts. So be able to talk about how you're shifting their perspective. And what I mean is you want to help your potential clients have an aha moment. You basically want to help them to create a win, like something that is useful for them or beneficial for them before they ever even start working with you. Because guess what? When people feel like, man, when I listen to her, like I get nuggets, like she drops jewels, or I learn something, there's always something I can take away, then that's going to magnetize people towards you, right? And that's exactly what you want. They're going to want to learn more. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to want to engage with you. They're going to want to learn more about your services and how you can help them. Okay. So step 3 is that you want to be able to engage your clients on live by doing live stream. Now, let me tell you about the key. I don't want you to just do a live stream. I want you to do a live stream with a call to action. Okay. So write this down, CTA. CTA stands for call to action. A call to action is some kind of specific offer or proposal that you're putting out, like an invitation that you're putting out to people that is a part of your live stream. What you might ask is for them to book a call with you, right? Like one of the things that we teach inside of Breadwinners Mastermind is how to close clients on the phone. And I'll talk more about that in just a second. But we teach how to close clients on the phone. And so you want to make sure that you're actually getting people on a conversation. That's a whole nother type of conversation. So there's a conversation that you're having that's educating people on what you do. and speaking to the challenges that they're facing, the desires they have, or the pain points that they are currently suffering with. And then there is a conversation where you get to actually present offers. Okay. So the key here, right, the next step is to essentially ask for the business. Okay. That's where your CTA comes in. Your CTA is going to be you specifically asking for the business. Now, here's what I want you to here's a little homework assignment for you for today. I want you to go and I want you to look at your social media feed, right? So whether you're on Instagram or Facebook or on both, I want you to look at your social media feeds. I want you to look at your website. And I want you to ask yourself, where on your social media feeds or where on your website do you make offers? Like, where are you educating people about what you do and essentially making an invitation for them to work with you? What I find with a lot of the clients that I've worked with is that it's not that they don't have, good marketing. It's not that that people aren't interested in what they do or don't want to work with them. It's that they're not actually making offers. Like, they're not inviting people. I was talking to one of my clients, and she was saying to me that she felt like if people wanted to work with her, then they should just reach out, right? Like, they should just be reaching out to her. And I was like, girl, no, it doesn't work like that. They might be feeling the same way. Well, if she wants to work with me, she should just be reaching out. So you cannot leave the onus on your potential client to reach out to you to say that they want to work with you. You need to actually make the invitation. Like, just think about, I remember growing up, right? Living in my mom's house. And at that time, right, people used to just pop by like all the time. Like, my mom's friends would ride down the block, see if she just happened to be sitting outside. And if she was sitting outside, they would stop, they would talk to her. It was like a whole thing. She ended up making food. The next thing you know, like, we got all these people over, like it was like a whole thing. But these days, if things don't work like that, right? Like, if somebody just showed up at your house out of nowhere, most people would be pissed. Like, what are you doing? Like, just showing up at my house, right? And if it's not a family member, like if a friend that you haven't seen in a long time just like rang your doorbell randomly, right? You wouldn't necessarily like that. So you have to think about, are you inviting people over, right? If you feel like you're lonely and you haven't been around people and you're feeling isolated, ask yourself, are you inviting people over, right? Are you making the invitation for people to come and hang out with you? It's the same exact thing in business. Are you making the invitation for people to come and work with you inside of your service business? You have to actually make those asks and let people know, I am here to help. I can support you. This is how I work with people. These are the kinds of results that I get from my clients. And you want to be able to say that on a regular basis. Okay. So I want you to do an audit. I want you to go look at your socials and see, are you making those invitations anywhere, right? If you're not, then that's one thing that you have to change. It's going to allow you to close more clients, because you'll start making more asks to people. You'll start making more invitations. You'll start inviting more people and letting them know that you can help them. Okay. And then last and certainly not least is that, and if you joined, I did a really fun masterclass yesterday that was called three ways to double the revenue in your high-end service business in the next 90 days. If you missed it, sucks to be you. You need to get on our email list so that you don't miss any of our upcoming masterclasses. Jovian, if you could just drop the link to join our email list, then that would be great. So I want to invite you to get on our email list so that you don't miss any of the classes that we're doing. But one of the things that I talked about in the masterclass is about developing the skill of being able to close clients on the phone. And I know there's a lot of rhetoric online about like closing people in the DMs and not having to do sales calls and all of that stuff. But what I want you to know is that developing sales skills, conversational sales skills, like not sales skills that are going to make you feel pushy or slimy or sleazy or any of that, but developing conversational level sales skills is something that you want to know how to do as a woman owner, because you want to be a breadwinner. You want to know how to make it rain inside of your business. And if that's something that you don't actually feel good at, it is something that you can develop as a skill. And let me tell you this, when you know how to have the skill, and this is something that we teach inside of Breadwinners Mastermind, when you learn the skill of being able to close clients over the phone, we have a tool that I give my clients, which is called the 6-figure sales script, because our clients have made multiple six figures in revenue using that sales script. So I want you to know that when you master the flow, there's like 4 phases of flow in a sales conversation, and you need to be able to take people through each of those phases. When you know how to do that in a conversation over the phone, you will know how to do that in a conversation anywhere. It means that you'll be able to do it over the phone. It means that you'll be able to do it on video. It means that you'll be able to do it in an email. It means that you'll be able to do it in a DM conversation. A lot of people get stuck in the DM conversations because they don't already have the skills of being able to sell. So if that's a skill that you are missing, it is a skill that you can actually learn that will absolutely enhance your business. Okay, so let's recap the 5 steps that we talked about today. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them into the chat right now. If you're live with me on Zoom, then I will also take questions live. So number 1 is you want to be able to know the desires of the clients that you're trying to attract. And number 2, you want to be able to speak to the mindset shifts, the aha moments that you can create for those clients. Number 3, you want to be consistently engaging your audience online. And we talked about live stream video is like one of the best ways to do that, because you are connecting with a person visually, but also their voice, similar to how a podcast has you in a person's ear. With live stream video, you're getting the visual, you're getting the voice, you're seeing their facial expressions, you're understanding how they move as a person, right? Like, if you've been coming to Breadwinning Wednesday, like sometimes I talk with my hands and I'll start getting big with my hands. And that's just something that you know about me. And if you also talk with your hands, that may be very relatable for you, right? So knowing, like, it's a really fast way to be able to get people to know, like, and trust you by using live stream video. Okay. Number 4 is you want to be asking for the business. So this is what I said, you've got to do an audit of your socials, do an audit even of your emails. Are you asking for the business? Are you making offers? Are you making invitations to people to invite them to work with you? If you're not doing that on a regular basis, meaning like weekly, every couple of days kind of basis, right? And not the same way every day, but like different ways, a couple times a week, then that is the gap that might be happening for you right now. People like you, they know you, they trust you, they want to work with you, but you're not even making the offer. So they're not jumping, they're not taking action. And then last is you want to develop the skills of being able to close clients over the phone. And I'm not going to break down the whole, sales process today. I could do a whole nother live stream. In fact, I wonder if I've done a live stream I don't think I have, but if that's something you're interested in me doing, a live stream, how to close clients over the phone, then let me know. I may do a Breadwinning Wednesday topic around that as well. Okay, awesome. So let me see what questions there are popping up inside of the community or on Zoom. You can also ask. Hey, Rosalind, so glad that you're here. Hey, Sierra. Let me know what your questions are and I can ask them live. Levon and everyone watching inside of the Breadwinning Women community, you feel free to let me know in the chat over there. I know it's like a slight delay, but if you have questions, put them in. And I'll tell you, like I did last week, listen, guys, I put in work. Let me put it that way. I put in work with my clients, and I love doing it. And I show up in this community on a weekly basis because I freaking want a lot of women to make a lot of money. Like, I want to see more women that are becoming high earning business women. And so I want you to take advantage of this opportunity to get your questions answered, because to hire a coach is an investment. It takes money, okay? Like, good money, right? To hire a coach. And I show up here for you every single week to add value and to be of service. And so I really want you to take advantage. So when you have an opportunity like this, I really want to encourage you to take advantage and get your questions answered. I'm telling you, listen, I'm in some communities and I'll be the first, like, question, I got something I want to know, right? Or even if you need clarity on something that I spoke about, then don't hesitate to do that. I also want to say that while you're typing your questions or thinking of questions that you may have, we are right now doing an open enrollment for our mastermind, Breadwinners Mastermind. And it is the it literally like the best sales and marketing program on the market that is implementation focused, right? So we don't leave you to your devices. We're not going to give you like 200 videos to go watch and hope that you figure it out like a course will do, right? It really focuses on helping you to systemize your service business so that you can sign high-end clients. And so one of the first things that we do inside of Breadwinners Mastermind is help you to refine your signature offer. Like, what is the offer that you have? Let's refine it. Let's make it really juicy and tasty and appetizing for your ideal client so that you are putting out a really great offer that people are willing to invest in. Okay, then one of the second things that we'll do is basically put together your sales system so that you have an entire process. Like what I gave you today is like a way of, it's like kind of the pieces of a process that you will put together to be able to make sure that you're bringing in sales consistently. There's way more to having a sales process that I can teach you in like a quick, 30-minute live stream. But what I want you to understand is that you don't need a marketing method. You need a sales process that is going to allow you to close your clients consistently. Okay, so the second thing that we do inside of Breadwinners Mastermind is to set up your sales process so that you have a way of attracting leads, nurturing your leads, closing your leads, okay? Those potential buyers into clients, okay? And then the third thing that we do inside of the program is we start putting your back-end systems in place, because what often happens is as you start to bring in more clients, then you got to focus on delivery, like getting results for those clients, and also being able to smoothly do the work for your clients. Because what I often see happen is that people go from a place to not having enough clients to starting to get clients to them being overwhelmed with client work. Like, oh crap, now I got all this client work. Like, what the heck am I supposed to do right now to be able to deliver on all this client work? And what ultimately ends up happening is that you will switch gears to delivering on the client work, and you'll drop the ball again on your sales and marketing. And so you really need a system, a process, the mentorship and accountability to be able to have all that in place. And then the final thing that I would say that we do, one of the big areas that we cover inside of Breadwinners Mastermind is mindset. So every month we have mindset calls, okay, with our mindset coach, which are going to help you to work through the thought errors, the stinking thinking, right? Things that are unhelpful thoughts and beliefs that you might be having that are holding you back. Because what causes us a lot of times to get stuck in business is really not that you don't know what to do, right? It's that you are getting in your own way, like your fears, your self-doubts, your limiting beliefs, analysis paralysis, like overthinking how to do things, are often holding women back from getting results. And then juggling that alongside of everything else that you're doing, momming and wifing and like all the things that you have going on in your life. And then you add a cherry on top, which is your business, right? Like, that's a lot of balls to juggle. And so there is a lot of mental stuff that can come up, and mindset shifts that need to happen. And we want to help you to work through those blocks so that you can create big results in your business. So if all of that sounds tasty to you and you're looking for a mentor and a coach that can support you in creating bigger results in your business, then I want to invite you to actually book a call with me so that we can talk about whether or not Breadwinners Mastermind would be a great fit for your business. And I'm really big on getting results for people. Like I love client results. And so if I don't feel like we can create a success story around your business, I'm going to tell you that up front and say this program isn't right for you. But here's what I think you could do in the meantime, right? I will give you some suggestions, feedback on what to do. So Joanna, if you could just drop the link for people that are interested in booking a call on our daily success routine 30-minute calendar to learn more about Breadwinners Mastermind if it's right for you. If you're at that place where you're like, listen, it's summer, I want to start getting my business set up for fall and for the rest of the year to be able to finish the year strong and to go into next year even stronger. Like one of the things that I'm thinking about, right? We got 5 months left in the year, like real talk, 3 days out before this month is over, right? We got 5 months left in the year, which is still actually plenty of time to make big shifts happen in your business if you're willing to do the work to be able to create the results. Like that's all it comes down to. You have to be willing to do the work to create the results. So what'll happen when you book a call is you'll get asked like a few questions about your business. There may be some availability on my calendar, even as early as tomorrow's Thursday, I think for Friday. If there's not an availability on the calendar that works with your schedule, then just like reach out to us, which you can send an email to my team at hello@dailysuccessroutine.com. And we'll find a time that works for your schedule. I know sometimes people have unique hours. So if we need to accommodate you, we absolutely will. But just like, don't keep trying to figure it out. I made a big mistake of doing that earlier in my entrepreneurial journey where I was like hustling, like trying to YouTube and Google my way to success, thinking that I could figure it out all on my own. And trust me, there were things that I figured out, but it took me a lot longer than it had to take because I really could have shortcut the learning curve by getting a mentor or coach a lot earlier in my business. When I did, even though I had like the grit to figure things out, and I did, when I finally had a mentor and coach supporting me, boom, I took off even further, right? Because it's like some of us are like a diamond in the rough, right? We just need somebody who could buff us up, like put a little buff on that diamond, right? So that you can really shine and get to your next level. So if that sounds exciting for you, then definitely book a call with me. I added some more spaces to my calendar earlier today. So there's more availability for us to talk. All right, before we go, are there any questions? Let me just check inside of the Breadwinning Women community. I give you plenty of opportunity there to type. So let me just check if I'm missing anyone inside of the community. Okay, doesn't look like I am. All right, so if everybody is made whole, then I'm going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's session. We will be back. Jovian, do you happen to know what our topic is for next week? I really should do a better job of telling you in advance what we're going to be covering because we've been having a lot of really juicy topics. The other thing is if there's anything that you ever want me to cover on an episode of Breadwinning Wednesday, then just let me know. You can let me know right now in the chat if you're watching live inside of the community. Just drop it inside of the video. Next week, I'm going to be covering my 3-step content strategy to attract high-end clients. So we're going to go deeper into content. Okay. So if you have been struggling with content or feel like you don't know what to talk about online or how to set up your content or what, so we're going to go a lot deeper into content next week. So make sure that you save the date for next Wednesday, which is, what is it? We're going to be in August already. That's like super insane. Next Wednesday, I think, is the 3rd. Yep, it is. Next week is August 3rd. I'll be back here at 6 p.m. on August 3rd for another episode of Breadwinning Wednesday. All right, ladies, thank you so much for being here with me. Next week, bring a friend back for Breadwinning Wednesday. The more the merrier. we're committed here to really helping women become high earning business owners. And if that sounds like you, then definitely book a call with me and let's talk about your business. But most important thing that I want you to do is not just show up to these sessions and learn. I want you to take action, because taking action on your business will allow you to become the breadwinning woman that you desire and that you deserve to be. All right, until next week, take action. Bye for now.